Okay. What? I am confused. I doubt this is an alarm, but it sure sounds like one. No, it is a bird or something, I guess. Making an alarm call. It's not some weird alarm someone's put in the forest. I can tell you I have no idea what this is yet. This is confusing. Oh, I see a bird now. So I'm looking at what could be a Cooper's hawk. And it is screeching like anything.
My name is Rob, and this is Songbirding. Solving bird identification mysteries with good documentation.
So it's been a few months since I encountered the mystery alarm call. It is a hawk, and what it actually is a broad-winged hawk. And in this recording, I don't get it correct, but I don't declare that I'm 100% sure of it either, which is important when encountering unknown species. So what I do end up thinking it is a juvenile accipiter, either a sharp-shinned hawk or Cooper's hawk. So it looked similar to that. It was screaming. Screaming is something that I assumed meant calling for food, but really this is a female broad-winged hawk doing a territorial call. And that could be because I'm there. It could be because it was looking for the male to come bring in some food. Could have been looking for a male to mate with, although it's a little late in the season for that. Had I left my mind open enough to think that this could be an adult, I should have looked for a nest as well too. So that's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. But some things to take away from this though are that good documentation helps a lot. So I had obviously an audio recording so I could look it up later. I took photos. I took video even, so there's that as well. And all of these things help when coming across something that you're not sure of. So maybe you can pull out your smartphone and just record the sound you hear if you encounter something you're not sure of. Take a photo or two. Smartphone photos aren't great, but better than nothing sometimes. If you have a point and shoot camera with you, or DSLR, of course, take it with that. Failing those, writing down, either written pad and paper, or more smartphones will have note-taking apps, so make use of those as well. So it's important that you get good documentation, and because that will help getting assistance later with a identification. So once you have your recording, you can take it and upload it to xenocanto.org. That's xeno-canto.org. That's a site for bird sounds. You can also go to iNaturalist, iNaturalist.org, iNaturalist.ca in Canada, or the iNaturalist app for your smartphone. And you can upload stuff there, and they have lots of users who will help you identify something. iNaturalist, you can upload photos or audio. Photos, it will try to auto ID what your thing is. It may not be accurate. It's hit and miss. And Xenocanto is audio only. So if you encounter something you don't know, do what you can to document it. Once you're doing that, feel free to take your wild stab guesses at what it is and why it's that. And then if you do think it's something uncommon or rare, you can, of course, do an email alert, eBird, or anything like that. But if you're not 100% certain, or at least 99% certain, just state that you're not certain, that it may be something else. On eBird, you should try to list it with its family name, not the actual species name, because this is more permanent record. Email, you can just say, well, I think it might be this. But an eBird, in my case, I could say accipiter, even though even that wasn't entirely accurate. But at least then nobody's looking for that specific species necessarily. And if you can, write some notes down, or if you're audio recording like I was, you can just dictate your notes as well. So this broad-winged hawk, it was a female, and females have that loud screech call. Males also have it, but they have a different pitch. So I was actually able to identify this by spectrograph afterwards, by the exact frequency that was in use. So to quote the webpage about the broad-winged hawks, on allaboutbirds.com, it says, the female gives a piercing scream during the breeding season, prompting the male to either mate with her or bring food. So that's one possibility there. So in this recording, I'm not going to be too sure of the ID. Just know that it's a broad-winged hawk and not sharp-shinned or Cooper hawk. The adult broad-winged hawk looks like how the juveniles look in the sharp-shinned Coopers. But I, unfortunately, made my mind kind of up about it being juvenile by the screaming. So that was unfortunate, but it happens. And don't be worried if you misidentify something. Everybody does it when it comes to birds. As long as you stay interested in researching what it is that you actually saw. And as long as you also stay open to other possibilities that people suggest. So I also later... so in the first segment is this broad-winged hawk. Second segment is going to be another mystery call, mystery song in this case, of a warbler. And I'm going to leave that open-ended for now, and I'm going to talk a bit about that just before that segment plays.
In the territory of the broad-winged hawk.
So, not used to hearing hawks much, other than the occasional red tail. Maybe once in a while a kestrel. My guess is this is a young bird who needs feeding. And who just doesn't know what to do other than to scream for food. So the parent must be around somewhere. So I've taken a photo or two, a brief video of this bird. At this point I will say is a young Cooper's hawk. Very dark bird. I may have to correct myself later though. Generally the Cooper's hawk is not identified by ear. This guy really does sound like an alarm got set off. Okay, we got an eastern woodpooey too. Wow, is he hungry? That's an eastern woodpooey calling. So this woodpooey is nowhere near as loud as a Cooper's hawk. He just flew over my head. Gone high up to one of the pines. He's looking down at me. This might be a good opportunity for another video. Oh. Too late. It's moved again. Okay, we're going to leave that young one be. Possibly. Actually, looks like I'm going to have to head back the other way, the way I came. I don't believe this trail I'm on is even on the map. I'm going to head back the way I came. So it looks like our Cooper's hawk has quieted down. Possible the parent came in and fed them, or feels like catching his own food now. But you can hear our least flycatcher whipping over there. They say least flycatcher, but it could be another kind as well. There's pine warbler. Vireo. So the Cooper's hawk is often confused with the sharp-shinned hawk. Enough that I probably shouldn't even be saying that that was Cooper's hawk, because they are difficult to tell apart. I, more or less presuming, based on size, that that was Cooper's hawk, but it could have been a very large female sharp-shinned hawk. In hawks, females are larger than males. Enough so that some of them don't even look like they're the same species. We're back on the bluff trail here. Okay, that's what I heard before. Some kind of bird over here that is doing a very high-pitched whine at the end of its song. Hopefully this wind calms down enough. Give it a listen. There we go. Okay. Interesting song. And with the zeet, extremely high pitched. Not everyone's going to be able to hear that. Okay. Time to go off trail a little bit. Find this bird. So a little bit of warble. And then suddenly just ramps up the frequency to the point where you can't hear it anymore. Hopefully I haven't scared it off. Also, this bird wasn't far, it was just quiet. There we go. So my guess is not everyone will hear that fully. You might hear the initial warbler, or you might hear the initial warble, but not that ramp up at the end. Oh, a lot of leaves here, a lot of aspen in here, and what look to be some young ash trees. So it'd be tough picking a bird out of this compared to some other spots. Especially one sticking to the tops of the trees. Although those trees aren't very high. Maybe 30, 40 feet. This bird's on the move. got me going in circles. Okay. I don't know if the wind's helping or hindering for seeing this bird. One hand it could blow a leaf out of the way. The other makes it harder to see him move. It's another mystery bird today. This is good.
A mystery song.
So this warbler is actually one we've already heard. It's a Blackburnian warbler. It's just the same bird, well, not the same bird, but the same species with a different song. And Blackburnian, like a lot of bird species, have more than one song. And this would have been solved if I had gotten eyes on the bird ever, but I did not. Blackburnian love to stay at the tops of the canopy, so they still stay very well hidden. So again, documentation helped me quite a bit here, having the recording to review later and compare with known bird recordings through, I think Zenocanto helped a lot here. Because one of the things, if you got an unknown recording, you should maybe go to Zenocanto and listen to alternative songs of the same species you know were there at the time. That's another strategy you can use. Also, you can write down mnemonics if you think you can work one out of it. I highly suggest getting the Peterson Guide to the Sounds of Birds of Eastern North America by Nathan Peplow. That's a really neat book that gives you some insight in ways you can convert birdsong kind of to language for writing it down, for thinking about it, for expressing it. It's like all things birdsong, of course it's not going to be perfect, but it helps a lot of framing how you think about certain sounds, and it gives a good language to work with in order to deduce what you might be hearing in a recording or in the field. It has an excellent index at the back that lets you, it's a multi-tiered index that lets you search kind of by song, by call, that kind of thing. Really useful. So in this second segment, you'll be hearing a Blackburnian warbler and me confusedly trying to figure out that it's a Blackburnian warbler. But I don't end up figuring it out until I take the recording home and listen to it and compare it.
The Blackburnian warbler.
That's fairly clear. Let me try moving a bit. Well, I know this bird is sitting on the very tops of the trees, so that makes it a tough one to see. Also explains why it's so quiet to me. Sound's got to carry through all these leaves and in the wind. Okay. The spot is slightly more open now. I don't think this bird cares I'm here. else that had bird this difficult. I really cannot see where it is. I can estimate from how it sounds where to look, but if it keeps moving, it's hard to pinpoint. Having a lot of mosquitoes collect around me. Moved without me seeing. Must be the very tops of the trees. Mosquitoes also don't help because they move around my face, make it difficult to pick up motion. I hope that maybe this bird flies over top of me now. Can you hear the red-eyed vireos in the background? So I'd love to eyeball this one, but I might have to consult. Right now I need to check one of the apps to see if I can match this sound. Okay, so taking a look at one of the apps, and it doesn't sound spot on for northern parula, but it does sound close to a cerulean warbler, which makes us even more curious because that's pretty rare, especially this far north, I would think. So if this ends up being cerulean warbler, this is in the extreme north end of its range, considering we're in the northern part of southern Ontario. Even the southern part of southern Ontario doesn't really have many. So my internet connection out here is quite poor, so finding more recordings of cerulean warbler isn't going to happen. And this bird has gone quiet. So, we're going to check with the fine folks on Xenocanto. Hold on. We're looking at a female rose-breasted grosbeak. She's got a big nut in her mouth or something like that, carrying something. So she must have a nest here. So it's possible. I know earlier I thought I heard rose-breasted grosbeak, so they're definitely here. It's also possible this is just a completely different bird, not cerulean warbler. For me, this is a question mark bird right now. For the next part, we're going to be doing the loop back to the entrance of the MTB Adventure Park, and along the way we're going to have a couple more bird species. So for audio clips, photos, and video of broad-winged hawk calls, please visit songbirding.com, and you can find the eBird checklist for this episode, and it's all there. Songbirding, the Bruce Peninsula, was recorded, engineered, narrated, and created by me, Rob Porter, with Creative Commons music from Scott Buckley and additional Creative Commons sounds by Jordan Powell.